Welcome to another gathering of the Gold Key Adventurers Society. Have a seat by the fire as we prepare to help you unlock the secrets of the travel life. From theme park thrills to Purple Mountain's majesty, we want to see it all and do it all, and we want to help you do the same. We all have those bucket list trips, once-in-a-lifetime destinations that we'll get to someday. We're here to help you make your travel dreams a reality. Buy the ticket, take the trip. Where do you want to go?
Come on, come on, come on, now tell me what's on your bucket list. Okay, hey, okay, hey. It's a beautiful day. Okay, hey, okay, hey. It's a beautiful day.
That's a wrap on Universal Orlando's temporary closure due to COVID-19. Heather and Jeff bravely volunteered to be among the first to check it out, and they brought back a friend to help tell all about it. Plus, we finally know when Disneyland's opening up. Grab your wands and prepare to phone home. It's time to hit the trail with the Gold Key Adventure Society! It's been 85 days since disaster struck, and the entrance to the ancient mine tunnel we've been exploring collapsed. By now, we've adapted to life underground with limited supplies of food and the meager light of our helmet lamps. Or at least, most of us have. About a week ago, Dave lost it, and we last saw him shambling down a dark tunnel, raving about how he was going to be the king of the strange bioluminescent worms that live in the caves. I'm sure he's happy in his new subterranean kingdom. Suddenly, we hear the sounds of machinery moving rocks and people shouting that they found us. The entrance to the tunnel is open, and we stagger into the sunlight, blinking our eyes against the glare. As our vision clears, the first thing we see is a giant rotating globe in front of towering palm trees and a glistening lake. Well, I guess a visit to Universal Orlando will be the perfect way to recuperate from 3 months underground. But first, we need to introduce our guest in studio and our newest honorary member of the Gold Key Adventure Society. It's our friend Amy Reed from Universal Orlando Resort Travel Industry Sales. Amy, when new members join the Gold Key Adventure Society, we like to find out what their signature adventure style is. If you were a character in an adventure movie or a comic book, what would you be? For example, I like to think that I'm a combination of Indiana Jones and Carl from Up. Heather would be exploring space and time in the TARDIS from Doctor Who, and Jess and Jeff are both indoor kids who reluctantly get dragged into adventures, but they really shine when the action starts.
That's fair.
That's lovely. So my first reaction to that question is, I am my own movie.
That's accurate.
Nice.
That's accurate.
Right?
And it's on Cinemax late at night.
That's a subscription, but that's fine. But I asked a few friends, and they told me that they see me as Laura Croft.
Definitely.
It was fun.
Yeah.
And also feel that, because she's kind of badass, and she
totally
can kick butt. And I feel like I do that every day.
Similarly
Life
statured.
and work.
She looks like she might like some tequila.
Similarly statured.
Yeah, well, shh. And also like that, yeah. She probably likes tequila. Same. The only thing she has is that accent, which I wish I had an accent. You ever notice people with accents get away with everything?
Yes.
Well, they sound smarter immediately.
Yeah.
They sound smarter, and they could, rob a bank, and then, they had an accent.
It depends on the accent. I have a hillbilly accent. Do I sound smarter?
Well, give me all your money.
Hey, we can all rob banks now because mask wearing is encouraged.
This here's a hold up, y'all.
I had to go into a liquor store last week and put on a mask on my way in, and it felt so wrong.
Yeah, and I had to shoot the clerk on the way out. That was weird.
This is the first time they didn't reference the photo of me behind the counter that says, "Do not serve this guy."
Yeah.
It's because of the COVID, you guys.
All right, I think it's time to talk about some travel. Our show this week is brought to you by Key to the World Travel. Key to the World Travel is a full-service travel agency specializing in theme parks, cruising, and destinations around the world. Head to www.keytotheworldtravel.com for more details and a no-obligation quote on the vacation of a lifetime. Jess, what's up in the theme parks?
All right, well, we are coming up pretty quickly on the reopening of some of the resorts at Walt Disney World. So on June 22nd, the DVC, Disney Vacation Club Resorts, and Fort Wilderness Campgrounds will reopen. And Disney just released some new details on what guests can expect for their new procedures as far as cleaning, checking in, things like that. It's going to include enhanced room cleaning before your check-in. They're going to be doing like a special clean of your room beforehand. And that's going to include things like putting the remote controls for the TVs and stuff in bags, which is kind of interesting. They're going to clean them, put them in a bag. I guess you can use it through the bag or take it out.
That's so weird.
I think it's to prove to you that it's been cleaned.
Yeah, it's theater, right? It's just so that they can show you that they wiped it down.
It's kind of like folding over the end of the toilet paper.
Yes.
Right. And the in-room cleaning is going to switch to a light room cleaning every other day. You'll still be able to request things from Bell Services, but they are going to ask that you use the My Disney Experience app to contact them instead of going in person. And along with that, they want
the gross hotel room phone.
Yeah. It's sad. I always enjoy a bag.
It'll be fine.
Yeah. I always enjoy a good Bell Services high five every time I get something. So it's just really ruining the magic for me.
Hey, does this mean we can't tip anymore because they don't want our gross, dirty cash?
No, you just have to ask them for their PayPal account.
No, we have to Venmo them the tip.
You got cash out?
What do you mean tip anymore?
Why start now?
Hey, now.
Tip them, people. Tip them. So, yeah, and they're also going to be focusing on the online check-in so that you can bypass the front desk on your entry, which I do anyway. I haven't been to the front desk to check in years.
Yeah.
And, the Bell Services are going to change a little bit as well, where they're going to still take your luggage to your room, but they will no longer allow you to accompany them. They won't basically take you and your luggage. You can meet your luggage in your room, but you can't hang out with the Bell Services guy. Again, no high fives, but... And they're
no spooning with Bell Services as I normally like to do.
Yeah, I like to ask them to warm the bed up for me because I don't like getting in a cold bed. Yeah. And then I'm just like, no, get back in. It's still too cold. But
I like to start with a light foot massage.
Work your way up.
Didn't we talk about a hotel in England that was one of the services you could pay them to get in your bed and warm it up before you got in?
I think that was at Jeffrey Epstein's estate.
I think that was... I was going to say, that sounds like some personal research you were doing, Heather, because I don't recall talking about that.
I swear it was one of the weird hotel things we talked about, but
I don't
whatever.
That.
Yeah, so that's pretty much it. They're also going to have limited contact purchase points at the registers, but we're going to be seeing that all over the place, basically.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, I know we're all looking forward to eventually getting back down there and see how this goes.
Several things are the same as Universal and several little differences too. Mm-hmm. Interesting how everybody's approaching it.
Yeah.
And when.
Yeah.
Yeah. By the time Disney World opens, Universal will have entered phase 17.
Giving out free hugs.
Yes.
Yeah. They've got the kissing booth is back open.
New slogan, come to Universal and touch us.
In Amy's office.
You can touch everything.
Touch somebody.
You can touch everything.
So anyway, Disneyland, Jess.
Yes.
What's up out there?
Also, Disneyland has made their announcements of their planned reopening. So they plan to reopen Disneyland Park and Disney California Adventure on July 17th, which is also the 65th anniversary of the opening of Disneyland.
Yeah.
Which is exciting. So,
but not the hotels right away, right?
No, then the hotels are going to be opening. Well, not all the hotels. Paradise Pier and Grand Californian will reopen on July 23rd with no word as to the Disneyland hotel.
Nothing. I noticed that they didn't even.
If you have a reservation at Disneyland Hotel and they move you over to Paradise Pier, do they also give you $500?
I hope so.
Yeah, that's a downgrade.
Yeah, we've started getting calls from the DRC, the Disney Reservation Center, about Disneyland folks. Yeah. I would be pretty upset if I was at the Disneyland Hotel and I got moved to Paradise Pier.
Yeah, well, they did recently say that the construction on the DVC portion of the Disneyland Hotel will be continuing as planned. So my theory, and it's just a theory, is that we won't be seeing it reopening anytime soon, and they're just going to kind of focus on working that construction there instead of having to juggle both. Who knows?
Yeah.
We'll see. And also, Downtown Disney will be reopening on July 9th. And the details. So
that's coming up fast, yeah.
Yeah, they're doing. That seems to be the standard thing. Is you open the entertainment food district first, which is really smart. It's a good way to sort of soft open your new procedures.
Mm-hmm. And I love a soft opening.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, we knew that about you.
And they've announced that they're going to be doing some new procedures for entry, including the admission reservation system that they've talked about that they're going to use for Disney World as well, excuse me. And there's going to be a temporary pause on new ticket and annual pass sales. So we'll keep you updated on when all that changes.
It's
we don't want your money, is what.
Yeah, it's June 13th. Disney World is reopening on July 11, and still no sign of the reservation system.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They need to get to work.
They still got their kindergartners.
That's all I'm going to say about that.
Well, and then there's a new thing they're doing at Shanghai Disneyland, which is a standby pass for the rides. Have you seen this? So they're doing it for like a little handful of attractions where it's basically kind of like the boarding pass procedure that they did for Rise of the Resistance. But you're basically reserving an hour window to enter the standby line. But instead of these all being released in the morning, like they were doing with Rise of the Resistance, these will be released incrementally every hour throughout the day up until 2 hours before close.
Interesting.
So it kind of frees it up. It lets it be a little bit easier.
Them putting their toe in the virtual queue.
Yeah. And maybe in the water of
finally,
getting rid of FastPass altogether.
Oh,
please.
Fingers crossed.
I hope so.
So, Heather, Taiwan's got an interesting, very different approach to this social distancing during travel thing. Tell us about it.
They do. Do you guys super miss the airport experience? Going through TSA,
I love that.
having to take all your liquids out. Well, the Songshan Airport in Taiwan.
Getting a high on the thigh check.
Yes, at the Detroit airport. That's always fun. They have decided that they're going to open for a virtual vacation experience. Ooh. So it's a pretend vacation to nowhere.
So futuristic.
It includes the tour.
It's like going to Disney World.
Yeah, right? The tour includes going through security and a mock immigration experience, which sounds delightful, right? And then you get to board and disembark a plane.
My favorite parts of the flight experience.
Right? How long do they let you sit there?
This is so bizarre.
Do they get to argue?
Beverage service?
You get to argue over someone about their luggage?
It says it lasts for a whole day, and it will allow people to go to the airport without going anywhere, because going to the airport is the best part of the vacation. I don't understand. They're trying this out on July 2nd, the 4th, and the 7th, and they're going to see if it's a thing that they want to continue for educating people about the airport experience.
Next up, truck stop bathroom experience without having to pump gas.
Right?
Are you volunteering to be a lot lizard for that?
Yeah. So if you really, really, really miss the airport, you could head over to Taiwan, but you'd have to take an actual airplane to get there to experience it.
But you can't fly into that airport, actually.
I was trying to remember which airport, because I think it's Taiwan or one of those. There's a couple of really swanky airports over there.
Oh, Singapore, I think, is the one you're probably thinking of. Singapore is the one that's got like a rainforest in the middle of the airport. That airport is a destination in itself. There are pictures of this Taiwanese airport that's doing this, and it looks like a Soviet prison. I am
it's slightly better than that. It looks, let's be honest, it looks like Gerald R. Ford International.
Here in Grand Rapids, Michigan. Hey, our airport got a makeover. It's lovely now.
Yeah, we've got a microbrewery.
Yes. You can get through security and have a beer within 30 seconds. It's lovely.
That says a lot when your airport's named after the clumsiest president.
Yeah, that's our claim to fame. He was from here.
Everybody falls down the stairs getting on the plane.
We've talked a lot in the past about glamping, guys. I've got a whole new kind of glamping experience.
Ooh. Tell me more.
Dandy camping.
What is glamping?
I was going to say, Amy, are you in on this glamping experience that's become popular lately? Do you know what it is?
Yeah, I know what it is. I've never done it because
ew. Nature.
Yeah. Well, it's not. glamping, like to me, just stay in a hotel.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'm saying it's either you go camping and you do the whole thing or you don't and you stay in a hotel. The glamping thing is a little, I don't know, it's too much.
And when I'm not in my fancy glamper, I'm outside.
Yeah.
You're outside in the nature with the animals and stuff.
Yeah. Well, this one's not so nature-y. This is called Knights Glamping, and it's at Leeds Castle in England. And it looks like actually the whole castle has been turned into a series of bed and breakfasts, depending on which part of the castle grounds you're on. But in the courtyard, they've set up 8 like tournament tents, like from a medieval jousting tournament.
Oh, are we jousting?
These striped white and blue and red striped tents, and you can glamp out there in the middle of the castle courtyard. And then when you stay, you've got full access to all of the stuff they have there. They've got a maze and whatever else you do in a medieval castle.
Archery activities.
I bet you could book
arrows at people.
Yeah, I'm seeing pictures of knights and
from the pictures I'm looking at on the website, it looks like you can sit around a fire with other pasty white people.
Yeah.
That's
and eat your food out of an iron skillet.
Yeah. It looks like there's falconry too. You can go kill things with a bird.
Falconry.
Which I'm going to be honest, that's something I've always wanted to learn how to do.
There's no instructions. They just chase you with falcons.
Kill things with a bird.
Hand you a falcon and say, go for it.
Here's some meat and a falcon. Figure it out.
I don't understand falconry. Like, what can you catch with the falcon? A mouse? Are you going to
catch?
Birds, rabbits,
avian flu.
That's what I was going to say.
Smaller birds. They also have adventure golf or putt golf, as we call it here in America.
Adventure?
If you're not into the glamping, there's other accommodations in the castle. They have little cottages on the ground. They call them the holiday cottages, which are
so
very
British.
cute little, like, escape to the countryside kind of cottages. There's also stable house. Yeah, zip lining. There's a stable house that's been converted into a bed and breakfast, and there's also a tower that they call the Maiden's Tower bed and breakfast. And, so yeah,
cool.
If you don't want to get too natural with your glamping, that's maybe an option.
And they have the most authentic medieval thing, ye old Segway tours. So.
I saw that.
You have to put on a knight's helmet.
It's Segway jousting.
Can we joust on the Segway? Yes.
Sign me up. They also have a golf course, it looks like. They do conferences, Kikana 2022.
Perfect. Well, good news. Passport processing is back, so you can get your passport if you don't have it and go over to England.
Thank God.
Yeah, starting on June 3rd, they reopened all of the passport offices, but only with 50% of their employees, social distancing and whatnot. But I read that they have a backlog of 1.7 million passport applications that they have to get through. And they said that normally that only takes them about a month to do 2 million passports, but with only 50% of the employees, that means it's going to take them 2 months to get through what they already have. And they are going to do that on a first in, first out basis. So all those people who submitted their passport back in March and had them cash their check, by the way, the government was still taking your money.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Cash mine.
Yep. So they're going to do all of the applications that in order that they were submitted, get those out. And they said they hope to be up to processing about 200,000 passports per week until they can bring back the rest of their staff and get up and running. But they said if you have not turned one in yet and you're about to, just know that you can expect it to take 8 to 10 weeks for a brand new one. They are still, payouts. Yeah, exactly. Longer than that. If you have an emergency, they still will do those. They have been still doing those for people who, if someone is out of the country that's hurt and needs to get back, they'll process those immediately. But
I did mine last summer.
Exactly. If you need a passport, get that application in soon because it's going to take a minute
or two.
But at least they're finally doing it again.
Yes, that's true. And they were kind of defensive about why they weren't doing it because everyone was like, well, everybody else is working from home. Why can't you just work from home? But the point,
that's kind
of
a secure situation.
Exactly. That's what they said. Look, we can't take everybody's birth certificates and citizenship documents back to our house. So they just completely shut down.
Well, I think it's time for our newest segment on the show, and I still haven't gotten the theme music composed, so we're going a cappella for
All right, let's hear it, Dan.
The jingle here.
I love your singing.
For the best travel hacks when you take your trips, here's Key to the World Travel with Just the Tips. Just the Tips!
Just to see how it feels.
That's appropriate.
And so...
Can't wait to see the logo.
Yeah, it's going to be good.
Ooh,
Jeff,
there you go.
Get on it.
T-shirt logo, Jeff. There you go. Okay, this week's tip comes from Leah from Virginia, so let's take a listen. Well,
Hi, this is Leah from Blacksburg, Virginia. I just wanted to share a travel tip with you. When you're packing your suitcase, especially for carry-on sizes, and you want to make sure that you're maximizing as much space in your suitcase as possible, don't forget the inside of your tennis shoes. So I generally wear sandals when I'm going to the airport and getting on the plane. It's more comfortable for me and easier to get through security. And then my tennis shoes I put in my suitcase, and I fill them with things like hairspray or lotion or my shampoo bottles that I have in a Ziploc bag. It's really easy to make sure that they are all there.
Yeah, they're kind of like mini alternative packing cubes.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Sorry, I was distracted.
You were looking at
some concept art
design.
from Jeff.
Did you see it? Did you see it, Amy?
Oh, shit. I have my
show, Amy.
All right.
It's invisible.
I can't get it.
It's that virtual background.
It's your virtual background.
Never mind.
It's just a penis.
It's a dick.
It's just a penis.
He drew a dick.
Well, I would expect it to be.
Can't get through one episode.
Yeah.
Well, thanks, Leah, for that wonderful packing tip. Heather, what's Italy doing?
Well, there is a town in Italy that is calling itself the only COVID-free town in Italy. Yeah, and they want
Everybody's got their thing.
They want to sell you a house for €1.
Oh,
yeah. It's the town is called Cinquefrondi, and it's in Calabria, which I had to look this up because I had no idea where it was. So it's kind of down in the tip of the boot, and it's very close to the coast of the Mediterranean. So it looks
did
like
you say the tip?
I did say that. It looks like it would be a lovely place. And most of Italy is having an issue with their population is very aged, and they're having a depopulation problem. So they have a lot of houses that are sitting empty. And if you give them €1, they'll give you one of these houses, and you have 3 years to renovate it. And they said it would cost, they estimate between 10 and 20,000 euros to renovate. So, I mean, you're looking at less than $30,000 plus your €1 investment, and you've got yourself a vacation home in Italy. It actually sounds like a great idea.
Does it have to be a vacation home, or can I just live there?
No, you can just live there. It is in the middle of nowhere. Perfect. But it's COVID-free, so...
There's no one around.
Exactly. Sounds great. I'm looking into it.
Especially with all the elderly Italian ladies
right?
cooking delicious food.
Oh, it would be Bang Central.
Oh, ew.
I was just thinking about spaghetti, but okay. Thanks a lot, Jeff. It's been a few weeks since we've taken a trip through the Atlas Obscura, an explorer's guide to the world's hidden wonders, but I found one heck of a location for you guys. We're going back to Canada this time.
Oh, Canada,
you might remember last time we went to Canada, we visited the Canadian Potato Museum.
Yes.
which had displays including the life cycle of the potato and
so fascinating. Yes.
Yeah. So this time we're going to the Alberta, Canada for the Gopher Hole Museum.
What?
Yeah.
Just the hole. There's no gophers.
Well, there's gophers. What? Among the 50 or so dioramas at this museum is a scene of a young couple from the 1950s. She wears a turquoise poodle skirt, and he is a rebel type, clad in a black leather jacket. They stand locked in an embrace beside a motorcycle under the glow of a full moon. They are adorable and they are gophers.
Oh, no.
The Gopher Hole Museum, a collection of stuffed...
are weird.
A collection of stuffed Richardson's ground squirrels posed to resemble the townspeople of Torrington, opened in 1996.
What?
Located in a former one-room schoolhouse, the museum displays the gophers in wooden boxes with painted walls and props. There are gophers grilling hot dogs, getting married, fishing, playing poker, and eating cotton candy.
These are amazing.
Wow. I want to go.
Some of them have paper speech bubbles attached to their heads. The one above the gopher clutching his stomach at the diner table reads, "Oh boy, am I ever stuffed."
It's a living.
The museum is located at 201 1 Street South in Torrington, Alberta. It's open from June to September. Look for the big plywood gophers, and they'll guide you to the door.
Wow, let's go, you guys. That sounds amazing.
Yeah, so if you want to check out the Gopher Hole dioramas, head over to www.keyoftheworldtravel.com. And
they are temporarily closed.
Is that due to the COVID?
Yeah, just like the rest of the country of Canada.
Dang it.
I have to say my favorite one is the diorama of the Gopher priest holding a mass, I guess it looks like.
I love that band, Gopher Priest.
Gopher Priest. It's high-pitched covers of Judas Priest songs.
Oh, we got T-shirt designs left and right this episode.
Well, speaking of things in boxes, when you guys think of Disneyland circa around 1955, you think of wholesome family fun, right?
Mm-hmm, of course.
It's a little known fact that at Disneyland's opening there was a special shop/attraction on Main Street,
yes,
where you could learn about the history of women's underwear and view a peep show.
Wait, a peep show?
Yes. Disney's version of a peep show.
Uncle Walt was such a freak.
Was this in the Wizard of Bras?
Yes, so this was Hollywood Maxwell's Intimate Apparel Shop, which was a Victorian-themed store, but it offered modern, as of, the 50s, bras and panties for sale. But it also held rows of these 3D boxes that you could look through a viewfinder inside, and you would see a Victorian woman in, period attire. And if you then turned your head, her period attire would disappear and show off her underwear.
Period attire. Do you have to wear special clothes when you're on your period?
Playtex period attire. The weirdest thing, though, about this place was that it was hosted by an audio animatronic figure named the Wizard of Bras, who was a straight up nightmare clown of a man. Here, I'll give you guys a little bit of a look. So this dude hanging in the background here was this weird clown genie guy that would tell you about underwear while you stood there and watched your husband stare at women's underwear at a theme park.
Wow.
Strangely,
they should bring this attraction back.
I think so too. I don't know why.
People always say Walt would be rolling in his grave at what we have now. He started off with this.
Yeah.
People always say, "Oh, Walt spent so much time on Main Street just making sure everything was in order." Really, he spent all of his time in Maxwell's Intimate Apparel Shop.
I'm the Wizard of Bras.
Turns out there wasn't an audio animatronic figure. It was Walt in a costume. Can I see yours?
How long was this thing there?
6 months. That is it.
Oh, that didn't last very long.
Sadly, just 6 months. But and there's only a few photos. There's not even really a good photo of the figure itself.
Brassieres and torsalettes. What is a torsalette?
I have no idea, but it sounds uncomfortable.
It sounds like maybe a
corset.
Corset? Yeah. Weird. Huh.
So they had a lot of weird shops at Disneyland that they would just throw everything at the wall. And Walt, because I know that they had it wasn't Brooks Brothers, but it was similar to a Brooks Brothers, and it's just Walt's favorite clothing brand. So we put one in the park so that he could go shopping.
Go shopping.
Sounds like it. Yeah. If it wasn't something that he loved and wanted easy access to, it was somebody that gave him money for the parks. So
yeah.
Main Street originally was basically a strip mall.
Yes, I like it. I say bring back the Wizard of Bras.
Bring back the bras. Maybe leave the wizard out. I don't know.
Gopher Hole Museum.
Plus the weird.
I'm still looking at all these Gopher Hole pictures.
We need a Gopher recreation of the Wizard of Bras.
Yes.
Ooh, that's a great idea.
It's a great idea.
No.
And I didn't say dick once this week. Dang it, I did it again.
Sorry, I'm picturing Jeff dressing up tiny little taxidermy gophers.
This is happening.
In lingerie.
He's ordering a BB gun and some tiny clothing.
Yeah.
Possums.
We've got a lot of squirrels.
You've got possums, too.
This is Jeff's new
squirrel on a little
quarantine
motorcycle.
hobby. Oh, wow. Stick around, because after the commercial break, we're going to hear from Heather and Jeff about their recent trip to the newly reopened Universal Orlando Resort, and a little more about what a trip to the parks looks like with their new safety precautions.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
When it comes to planning your next adventure, knowledge and preparation are always key. That's why a call to your Key to the World Travel Vacation Planner should always be at the top of your to-do list when you feel the urge to venture forth and explore the world. Key to the World Travel is an authorized Disney vacation planner, specializing in travel to Disney theme parks around the world, as well as Disney Cruise Line, Aulani, and Adventures by Disney. With over 450 travel advisors who share a deep love for Disney destinations, Key to the World Travel has a wealth of knowledge and passion to help you experience all the magic with none of the work. Wherever your wanderlust is driving you, Key to the World Travel is a full-service travel agency with the expertise to get you where you want to go. So whether you're headed to Universal Studios, Hawaii, Europe, or somewhere a little farther off the beaten track, your first step should always be to visit www.keytotheworldtravel.com for a no-obligation quote. Their expert travel planners are standing by to help you with every detail of your perfect vacation. That's www.keytotheworldtravel.com or at Key to the World Travel on Facebook. Key to the World Travel, your key to a magical vacation.
Dear Diary, you won't believe what I just did. I finally got to get out of the house and visit a theme park again. We took a trip to Universal Orlando Resort, and it was the best adventure I've had all year. Where do I start? There's so many wizards and roller coasters. Oh, and there's booze in the blender at Mr. James Buffett's Margaritaville. I had butterbeer and a Krusty Burger, and I flew on a bicycle with a weird alien slug up to the weirdest planet you could imagine. There's so much to tell you, I guess I should just start from the beginning. Guys, you were at Universal.
Yes, it was amazing. I went on an airplane. I got to eat at restaurants. No, it was a real airplane.
Yeah, I was going to drive, but they finally opened some direct flights back up from my market, so I was excited to fly Southwest even. So that was something.
I flew Delta and the airplane.
Well, you know, they love
empty.
to fly, and frankly, it shows.
And it shows. There was about 30 of us on the plane from Detroit to Orlando, but it was nice.
I had 49 on my flight. It was great. Got to the Florida without any incident, got picked up at the airport and shuffled off to Sapphire Falls Resort.
I love Sapphire Falls Resort. It's so lovely.
Lowe's Sapphire Falls Resort at Universal Resort and Spa Complex.
Yes.
Florida campus.
.org.
Yeah, we should just dive right in. I think Universal has nailed it on the reopening. I think I was really impressed with everything. It went very smoothly, and honestly, it's probably the cleanest place on the planet right now.
When you get to the first go into the resort, anytime you walk in and out of it, you either have to be wearing a wristband that you have had your temperature checked, or they check your temperature before you walk in there at all. So it is a rectal exam temperature check, so it's very accurate.
Is that why you kept getting back in line? They're like, sir.
I went back 30 times a day. They're like, sir, put your pants on.
You're like, no, don't stamp my hand. I'm not coming back.
Yeah, I thought it was one of the attractions.
I wore a series of clever disguises.
They could tell you by your butt.
I thought this part was genius because They took your temperature right when you arrived, or if you're staying at the resort, you go back down to the lobby every morning and get your temperature checked. And they would give you a colored wristband, so you had a different one every day. And once you got checked there in the nice air-conditioned lobby, you could go anywhere on the campus, and you don't have to get rechecked. So all of us who were worried about, if I'm going to walk in the 9,000-degree Florida sun from my hotel to the park, isn't my temperature going to be higher? But it didn't matter.
Yeah, it is one of those surface temps where they just hold it up near your forehead and it reads your surface temp. So it's very uninvasive.
And it's fast. It went really quick
and easy. They have 2 people at the front door and 2 people down at the exit by the boat launch. So if you're coming or going through there, you can get it done too. And that way you don't have to line up in front of the parks before you go in
nowhere
there.
at the park was there a line at the gates, because if people were coming from off-site, they checked them in the City Walk parking garages that you have to go through to get into City Walk and the parks anyway. So there was no backup at the front gates. We just walked right in. No, right now at the front gate, they're not doing the finger scan on your ticket, so you're not touching anything. They just...
Yeah, which is great, because 7 of us shared my ticket.
Don't tell Amy that.
I always get stuck behind the family that can't use those anyway, so it's fine by me.
Which finger did I use? No, you used your thumb. No, it wasn't. Yeah.
And Grandma's trying to put her nose on it. Like.
Yeah. It's not a foreskin reader, guys. Move along.
Just put it on there for the nice, cool steel touch.
That's right.
Ruined.
The crowd levels were low. I know it's the first week it's back open. I don't know what they're doing with crowd levels, but everything felt well spaced and the signage was good. They have signs everywhere about like what the procedure is and where to stand and where not to stand, that kind of thing. Distancing is not an issue for sure right now. As capacity hopefully grows, I assume that'll still be just fine. You do have to wear a mask in the parks.
And in the resort, it wasn't bad. You had to have your mask on in the lobby or any common areas like that. But what I loved is once you enter the pool area, no mask. You can take your mask off the whole time you're down at the pool. So you're not having to wear it just sitting by the pool or sitting at the pool bar or in the pool. We spent a lot of time down there because it was a mask-free zone.
Well, I would do that anyway. The pool areas at all the Universal resorts are
gorgeous,
beautiful. The one at Sapphire Falls has a great covered with ceiling fans bar, so that's where I lived for 3 days.
Did that same sort of procedure apply when you went into a restaurant? Could you just sort of take it off as soon as you got in there?
As soon as you sat down at your table, you can take the mask off. So all of the servers...
Yeah, when you're moving around common areas, you're supposed to be wearing it when you sit down.
All of the servers and all of the staff everywhere in the hotel and in the parks are all wearing masks. So when you're down at the pool, they still have the poolside service. So they had staff walking around ordering drinks and all that, and they were wearing masks, but you didn't have to. And then in the restaurant, too, your server was wearing a mask.
Shout out to Josh at the Sapphire Falls Pool Bar, by the way.
That guy was fantastic.
I mean, good server. He was amazing.
Very attentive, and he was great. We were talking to him a little bit about his experience during the pause, and he had such a great attitude. He said, I'm in hospitality, so every day when I'm at work, I have to be positive and I have to be smiling. And I was getting to a point where I was getting a little bit of hospitality fatigue was how he put it. And he said, that 2-month vacation was fantastic. And now I'm recharged and I'm ready. And he was very attentive and very friendly. And
I understand that from working in public like that. You just get where you hate people for a minute. You gotta take a break.
So there's some mask wearing at the resort. All of the restaurants and everything was open except Sapphire Falls did have Strong Water still closed, which was disappointing. We love Strong Water, but
that's their lobby rum bar for anyone that doesn't know.
That one was they said they were planning to open it soon, but it was really just right now because they still have kind of limited staff.
They have to really stock up in case Amy comes.
I heard.
Make sure to make sure they're covered.
Yeah.
But we also visited Aventura and Hard Rock while we were there, and all of their restaurants and bars are open. The Starbucks in the lobby at Aventura is open for business. It's great.
I like that.
And the Bistro 17 up at the top there, that's a fun bar. And it was, I think, not
right.
food.
No food for right now, but still drinks.
Just drinks only.
We don't go up there for the food anyway.
I've never eaten up there anyway. I'm not up there for that.
The whole resort experience was great, though. One thing that they are doing a little differently is they're not having daily housekeeping. But if you need extra towels or your trash taken out or any of that stuff, you just call and they will come and do that when you're not in the room. But they're not coming in and out every day. And I think that
no bed warming or foot massaging.
I think really that seemed like that decision was more for the peace of mind of the guests who might be nervous about having somebody in their room every day. But the room was pristine, very clean when we got there, which it always is. I've never.
And they didn't even put our stuff in a bag.
No.
So how would I know it was clean?
Well, that's something that's always been one of my favorite things about Universal hotels is they are always like impeccably clean.
Yes, I love all of their hotels. They're beautiful.
Me too.
Yeah, the value of what you get at the Universal hotels always blows away at Disney for the dollars.
What else was different? No valet for right now. No valet parking. So
that makes sense because you don't know what unknown cooties are in your car.
And getting in and out of the parking garage, they have removed the gate so that you don't have to touch that machine. You don't have to put anything in to get.
Which also meant we didn't pay, right? Or
she asked me when we checked in if we had a car, and I said we did.
You just say no? I mean, that's right. We were honest.
No. But actually,
of course we do.
I didn't see a charge for parking when we left, so I don't know. I was honest. I said we had a car, but it didn't look like they charged us. So,
sending you an invoice.
Amy, if you need to send me a bill for that, just go ahead.
I was just saying.
I think what they're planning to do when they bring back valets, your car will be brought back to you in a bag.
Yeah, I heard that.
Giant Ziploc bag.
Yeah.
So let you know that they sanitized it.
Shrink wrapped.
Yes.
Yeah, everything at the resort was kind of amazing. And then once you get on this procedure for getting on a boat and going to City Walk and either of the two parks was all just the same. Everything felt normal. You just have to wear a mask.
Social distancing on the boats. They're only loading them half full. Yeah, but we never had to wait.
They seem to have a ton of boats coming, like even more.
It looked like that they were running them more to make up for that. We didn't wait. What? I think we just walked right up. And
I was actually wondering because sometimes if you go to resorts and they're less crowded, they run the boats less often. This seemed to be almost the opposite of that. So you never had to wait. And walking around in the heat with a mask on is a little taxing.
It is difficult.
I'm willing to do it because I love my theme parks and I need to go there and dims the rules right now. But it is hot. So I would recommend practicing with it, getting some masks ahead of time. They do sell them there. The ones they sell there are good. They're microfiber. Our hotel contact gave us some that we could try, and they're really nice.
Light.
They're a little bit small for my giant face, but they're light microfiber. They're pretty breathable. But I recommend getting some masks ahead of time and practice because the easy to breathe through is a necessity.
Yeah, find a couple different kinds and see what works best for you. What I ended up using most often was a disposable surgical mask that you can get pretty easily now. They're available now. They weren't in the beginning, but I got a box of 50 or 100 on Amazon for like $30. And
it came in handy because she removed my gallbladder on the trip. So.
Did you guys try any of the mask rest zones that they've got set up?
We did the U rest areas.
So are they using the same areas as the smoking sections, or are they different areas?
I didn't see anybody smoking in it. Do you know, Amy?
No, so if you walk into Islands of Adventure and go straight to where it dead ends at the lake.
That was the first one we saw.
Some steps down and a big platform there where they used to have dessert parties and stuff. That whole area now is is a breathing zone essentially, and they have a few little tables and things where you can set your stuff down and just chill, take your mask off, and they have people in there actually making sure everybody's social distancing and all. It was a nice little respite. Just it's weird. You can totally breathe in those masks, but your brain tells you you're having trouble. Yeah. So
it does make you feel warmer because all that hot breath is coming back on your face. So, but they don't have a problem with you if you need to stop wherever you are. If you're not around another group of people and take your mask off for a minute to catch your breath, that's fine. You're not going to have somebody coming up and yelling at you.
And if you're snacking like I do a lot or drinking something, you can pull your mask down or off while you're, taking your thing. So I think that's smart on their part to give people a break, but it's also smart on their part because they're going to sell a lot of snacks and drink. Because people want to I was always stuffing my.
We had to get ice cream cones and bottles of water and walk around. I'm about to take a drink. I don't have to put my mask back on. Yeah.
Just walk around like that.
And I've seen a lot of people recommend that you plan on bringing multiple masks per day so that while you're in the parks, you can switch out your sweaty,
and I actually think I'm going to switch to like a bandana style that's open at the bottom. I have asthma and it gets to me after 10, 20 minutes and I need to stop and take it off. And it was completely doable though. It's not my favorite thing. I have to say, I probably complained about it the whole time, but I also had a wonderful time. So it's just what we have to do right now. And I'm willing to do that, to be in the parks.
If you guys didn't go to Volcano Bay though, right?
No, that's what we were hoping you'd share what's going on over there because I hear it's pretty mask free over there.
Yeah.
You get your mask wet when you swim or what?
No, I was like, it's funny because it's a completely different experience than the parks. And I was actually kind of shocked. So you only have to wear your mask when you're on the shuttle. You guys know there's no parking at Volcano Bay. So you have to take a shuttle from your hotel or from the parking garage over to the park. And then once they literally scan your ticket, and you take 2 feet, step in to the park, you can take your mask off.
That's glorious.
Yeah. What about your bathing suit?
Or your top, whatever.
What if I'm using a mask for both?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just an iPad.
But, obviously, if you're going into a gift shop, they ask you to put it on. Going to go eat, once you order and you're seated, you can take your mask off like everywhere else. And then
so if you're at counters or in any of the interior spaces.
Yeah. So
I'd actually love to see that as maybe the next phase. So in the dry parks, when you're outside, you wouldn't have to have it. But if you went in a gift shop or something like that, you put it back on.
Yeah. So it was kind of like a really relaxing experience to actually be out and on the sun.
It makes sense. You're out in the sunshine and breeze, and especially if crowds are kept manageable.
And the crowds were definitely manageable.
And selfishly, there was no line for any water slide. Nothing. It was great. So that was kind of fun.
You didn't even need tapu.
You didn't need it. You didn't really need it, but.
What I love that y'all are doing is that your Express Pass is still functioning. It's still a thing. So if you're staying at Hard Rock or Royal Pacific or when Portofino reopens, you get that included with your stay. And you will not wait at all right now with Express Pass. We didn't wait that long even without it.
Even Haggard's is using a virtual queue. You can join that and then you come back at a certain time frame, similar to how Rise of the Resistance is over at Disney World. But the rest were there any other virtual queues? I didn't notice. Fast and the Furious didn't have much of a line.
No, we walked right on to the most glorious ride at Universal Orlando.
Were the floozies wearing masks?
Can't say anything.
Please tell me the floozies are wearing masks.
Great. I actually, when we were in Hogsmeade and we were watching the choir that sings with the frogs, the singing frogs, the wizards had masks on and the frogs didn't. I was disappointed. I really wanted the frogs to have a mask on.
You're going to catch the frog flu.
There's anecdotal evidence that magical frogs can get the COVID, so they should probably think about it.
I'm sad because I had a theory that Vin Diesel only wears masks made out of wife beaters. And I just wanted to prove if that was correct or not. But
thanks for the idea. Now I'm going to go do that when I go back. I'm just gonna.
Yeah. I love that.
Oh my God.
I think the Hagrid's ride still caught the COVID a couple times because it was taking some rests several times.
Oh, was it?
Every time we had a return time on the virtual queue, that ride was down. They saw us coming, like, "Ooh, we're not letting that guy back on."
It's got the COVID.
Yeah,
it's the bees.
Yeah, but the crowds were so light; it was great. And one of my favorite things that you guys have done is that if you are staying on site in one of the partner hotels, you will not have a trouble getting into the park. You're guaranteed to go in. No reservation system needed. It's great. Yeah. And as we've said, those resorts are fabulous. And that's just, I mean, it seemed like a no-brainer to me. If you're taking the time to be in an on-site hotel, but then you have to go through an extra step of getting a park reservation.
You do have to wear your mask on rides as well, too, if anybody's wondering that.
Yeah, you fierce.
Which actually, that's fine because the breeze is going, and if you're on Fast and Furious, you wear the mask over your eyes so you don't have to see it.
So that if you didn't have your mask on, then we'd have to do it like they're doing in Japan and not allow you to scream.
No screaming allowed. Yeah,
that's right. Yeah, I like to wear the gator style mask. That's like the neck sort of sleeves that you can pull up, and then I would just pull it up over my entire face, walking around like the Blue Man Group.
We have some great photos of that. We'll put one of those on the Facebook page. And
it's a very uncircumcised way to wear your mask.
Yes. He got a few laughs at that as he's walking around with a mask over his entire face.
Because I can see through
That's
it perfectly.
That's the part that I'm still like, he seemed...
It's like a unitard.
You just need to get one of those Blue Man Group body stockings and just go full mask everywhere. No?
Amy, at Volcano Bay, did they remove like half the chaise lounges or any of that thing just to keep people apart, or is everything kind of status quo there?
I noticed just a few chairs were kind of taken away, but they really didn't mess with it too much because people come obviously with their family and their groups. So as long as you're with your group, like when we went, there was 5 of us and we all sat right next to each other. And, you know,
and cabanas are still.
Yeah, they had cabanas and all that available still. But
the cabana situation at Volcano Bay, for anybody that's never done that, is worth
worth it so much.
They're beautiful.
It's so killer. They bring your drinks to you. You got a little button for that, and you can, if on days when there are crowds, you can use the tapu
right in your cabana.
Air.
Yep.
You don't have to go stand in line like a peasant. You use the.
It's nice though too, because when you're with a group of people, just split the cost, all of you.
Yeah.
So it's nice. Yeah, absolutely.
All of the restaurants were doing, we did see in some of the bigger restaurants that every other table was not being used. And they've gone to paper or electronic menus. So the ones that were giving out a menu, it was paper and you could take it with you or throw it away.
Yeah, the restaurant in the downstairs Amatista that's in the Sapphire Falls Resort is a beautiful restaurant. It's humongous, so it's easy for them to space everything out. I'm not sure who they thought was going to be dining there. But that place
it's a great restaurant, and the food is fantastic.
Yeah, we had great drinks and all the food there. We ate like 4 of our 6 meals there, I guess.
And then you scan a QR code at the host stand, and it takes you right to a website that has all the menus on it. I love that, actually. It's something to I hope they keep that.
Yeah, because menus are often gross anyway.
And then I loved what they were doing. We ate in, was it 3 Broomsticks? Or were we at, it was 3 Broomsticks. So you would go to the door and then they would seat you and you scan a QR code to get the menu. And then they were having a team member come to your table, take your order, even though it's a kind of, quick service.
Yeah, they use like the mobile order.
Normally
thing, and then they bring it.
You go through the line there, but you mobile order from your phone and then the team member comes and gets your order number and brings you your food. It was really great.
That's nice.
Honestly, that could continue.
Yeah,
I would
absolutely.
love that.
Not having to stand in. So you weren't having to stand in that line to place your order so that you're not getting too close to people.
I really I think Disney's sitting back and watching and letting y'all take the lead because
they have spies.
The things that they've come up with to do here are just the
whole
work.
experience was great, and you were seeing people cleaning constantly, which is great for a theme park.
I got to tell you, the last 2 feet of the handrail outside of Fast and Furious is the cleanest space on the world. The dude that works in the gift shop was cleaning that handrail every time somebody came off that ride. So that's at least twice a day.
It's cleaner than Vin Diesel.
It's so clean there right now. You can't catch a cold at Universal right now. Nothing. I mean, it's pristine.
And it's a good thing, too, because we did see 2 little kids. They've got all these mask things and everything else. We were in line for the Hogwarts Express, which seemed like a really long line because they're distancing people. You have to be 6 feet apart from the group next to you. So I was like, what? We're going to be in this line for 2 weeks. But it was actually pretty quick. But these 2 little kids were literally licking the handrail.
Licking it. And then there was one, the little boy looked maybe 3. His sister was a little older. She was the one licking it. Or he was licking it. She was picking her nose and wiping it.
Yeah, she's wiping boogers on the rails.
And then he was licking it. I'm like, oh.
And these were the bottom rails, thankfully. So
the top rail, super clean. The bottom rail that's more at kid height, don't touch it. Yeah.
If you're gonna you have to lick a handrail, make it that.
A month ago, those kids would have been arrested as domestic terrorists.
You're right.
Yeah. They were having the best time, though. They were climbing on it, and it was
R.I.P.
Yeah. Those kids.
I've seen some pictures of the socially distanced photo ops with characters. Did you guys check out any of those?
We met
we did some of those.
Baby Raptor was one of them.
Yeah, we did whatever Baby Blue or whatever the little Baby Raptor. I guess the main Raptor guy wasn't going. I don't know why, but all they had was they had the little baby back there. I think that might be a puppet.
You don't know if it's a real raptor.
But they also had outside, where normally they have Donkey doing, I call it the Donkey
Shrek in the Donkey Show.
Donkey's in a window there talking to you. They had it the same, but you were just
back further, but he was still talking
behind
to
the
us.
hedge. And then Shrek was across the way just waving and dancing for everybody. They had a lot of characters out, but they were just sort of like where you could see them. They had the Scooby-Doo gang with
Megatron was still out at the Transformers. You could get your photo with it. You were a little closer to him because he's in that giant costume and the team member is actually way up high. So
yeah.
What do you mean team?
I thought he was a robot. And he couldn't get it.
The robot can't get the COVID, so you can get a little closer to it.
They disinfect him after every meet. They're just wiping him down.
He's searching for the Allspark. Where's your mask?
I saw pictures of like a stage that some characters are on with like a 6 foot mark.
And then you stand down in front of the stage and you can still do the meet and greet and they still talk to you. And instead of just saying no characters, no meet and greet, they thought about it and figured out how to do it safely. I think it's great.
Yeah, I love that. Universal's like, how can we make this fun?
Yes. And it really seems like you guys started thinking about it from the second that you closed. How are we going to reopen? And
Amy Reed came up with all of that.
Yeah.
Good job.
We were not sitting around. I'll tell you that. We've been working really hard every day. So, yeah, they did a good job.
They did a great job. And I feel like it's the safest place to be if you need to be out in public.
It's the safest and the cleanest.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, the clean parts is like, keep that up forever, right? Although I'm not going to say, I've never thought that the park, either of the major Orlando parks are not dirty, and I never thought that they were before. Yeah.
It's not Six Flags.
Oh, yeah. There's no Six Flags over Georgia. But it's even more in your face. Like, it's very comforting.
I will
they want
say,
you to
too,
know
one thing that I've loved is the upbeat attitude of all of the team members there. Everybody's like so kind of over the top, but it really does help. Yeah. You're like, I don't know how this is going to be. They're like, they have greeters out in front of Islands of Adventure that are like, hey guys, come on in, and they're explaining the rules to you and all.
Yeah, I did love that. They were back and forth and riffing with guests out in the front.
They're excited. Everyone's excited just to get back to life too.
Yeah, all the people in the hotels and everything were just so nice, except for the one security guard there.
Yeah, we did have a little run-in with
What'd
the
you
security
do?
guard. Well, there were our first night there was some major thunderstorms rolling through and
literally tornadoes coming over the top of the resort.
So
area.
we had just gotten some drinks and we sat down in front of a window, nowhere near anyone. Our backs are to anyone else. We just wanted to watch the storm.
They have long benches in front of the windows, so we were looking out at the storm.
Took our masks off because we were drinking. And there was a security guard who didn't like it.
He's like, guys, you got to be wearing your mask. And I responded in a way that I can't say on the radio and just continued what I was doing.
Speaking about how much fun it was, how many times did you guys ride the ET ride?
0 times.
Oh, guys.
You know, we were kind of just all over the place trying to take lots of pictures and recording things. So we only rode a handful of things, but you could really bang out a lot of rides. The wait time for Green Guts when we were there was 15 minutes.
I didn't see any wait time. Well, Hogwarts Express was between 20 and 40 minutes, and I think,
and that's because they're using like only one group in a
So if you're by yourself,
pod
you're in your own little car, and then they're doing a lot more cleaning.
It's a longer wait right now between rides because they disinfect,
which makes the Express Pass killer.
What about, did you visit our future sponsor, Mr. James Buffett?
No, some others that were with us ate there that night, and they said everything was going great there. The same thing. They have they haven't removed any tables, but some of the tables are just reserved.
They just don't seat people real close.
They had the patio and the inside all open.
I just want to get as many mentions of him in there, so hopefully someday we'll start getting some of that. Get some Jimmy Buffett money coming into the bank account.
I love you guys' podcast.
For some reason, it sounds like Tiger King.
Really, everybody. So.
Yeah, we made it over to Disney Springs one night too to check that out, and they're doing their temperature checks in the parking garage like they are at Universal, which is great. And then once you get
also rectally,
once you get in, then there too, mask on everywhere unless you're eating or drinking or sitting down.
More things opened after we left at City Walk too. When we were there, it was only a handful of restaurants opened, and since then they opened Vivo, Italian, and Toothsome, which were
and Antojitos.
We were there. Oh, I actually meant Antojitos. Vivo, I think, was open, but Toothsome Chocolate Emporium is the bomb. So we'll definitely go back and go to that as soon as possible.
We Disney Springs, we ate at Morimoto Asia, and they didn't seem to be skipping tables. They were filling all of their tables. Florida is technically allowed to be back to 100% capacity.
They've removed some tables, so they were a little.
They also weren't always that close together. Really, their tables. Whenever they have,
that's a huge.
Whenever
building.
they have booths that are back to back, they don't seat. Universal was doing this too. They don't seat anybody in the booth right behind you. So.
Oh, and I see the NBC Sports Grill and Brew opened back up too at City.
That is a great place.
I love that place. I did not expect to because of just the name
Sports
and whatever,
ball.
but it's great food and fun service.
All in all, I thought it was a great trip, and I have no worries at all about visiting Universal. They're doing a wonderful job. Everything is very safe. It's very clean. And it's a great time to go right now. Really, I would highly recommend.
And they have 2 great theme parks
and a water park.
I'm not saying anything.
That water park is gorgeous. It's
a water theme park, Jeff.
Yes, that's right.
I know. It really has a lovely resort feel to it. It feels like it's not like just a concrete slab with
slides,
water slides and stuff. Like what was the old one down
Wet
the road?
Wet
and Wild. That was fun, but it just wasn't pretty at all.
That's where Endless Summer is now, which is a beautiful resort and cheap. So inexpensive. Yes, I do mean inexpensive.
An excellent.
Amy's cheap. This hotel is inexpensive.
An excellent value.
It is a wonderful value. You can get a 2-bedroom suite for like $150 a night. It's insane. And it's beautiful. It's really... Jess stayed there, didn't you?
Yep. I stayed right after they opened. It was really nice. I like it.
And surf side is open right now. Dock side is not going to be open quite yet.
Not yet.
Yeah.
And Portofino Bay is July 1st, right? Coming back
they're
online.
still trying to get it in the bag to make sure it's safe.
To wrap the entire hotel in a bag.
All in there. And Club Level is back open at Royal Pacific and Hard
opened
Rock.
On the Monday that we were there, I think, or Sunday.
And the solution they've come up to there is great. I think everybody was kind of worried, is it going to all go to just bags of chips and prepackaged stuff? But they're still doing their same food and beverage, but what they're doing is they're plating it all individually so that you're not, in like little takeout
and
you're
boxes.
not touching the vat of wontons or whatever and putting your cooties on it. It'll all be on a plate and you just take the plate. It was great. And I believe at Hard Rock, they've moved it down into the conference center so there's more space.
Yes.
Yeah. Royal Pacific is still in their club lounge because it's pretty big. That one.
It's huge.
A bigger one than Hard Rock. The Rock Royalty Club is a little small up there. Lots of people down at the Hard Rock pool, which is gorgeous. It's my favorite pool on property. So
that's my favorite pool.
And we did see a lot of people taking advantage of the resort and spending time at the pools, and it was great.
Are you allowed to bring your own booze into these pool areas?
I bet that's probably a no. What do you think?
That's frowned upon.
Is it frowned upon, Amy?
Yeah, it is.
So I shouldn't just roll up in there with like a bottle of Tito's in my purse? Good to know. Good to know. Some limes.
Or a steak knife.
Yeah, to make my own drink.
Cut your own limes. Yeah. Probably inappropriate.
I think you're probably right about that.
I don't recommend that.
No.
Well, all in all, it was an amazing trip. Universal is 100% just handling business
they really
right
are.
now. I felt very safe, and it was a ton of fun. Now, if y'all could do something about air conditioning the entire park,
can you get on that?
That'd be great.
We need to come up with an air conditioned mask. Some batteries in it with little fans.
Just genius.
TM.
Yeah.
So what's
ours.
Is life getting back to work for team members now? With I noticed a lot of people brought back, and probably still some out, but
there's still obviously we're not full capacity or anything
yet.
We're not running at full capacity, I'll say that.
We're working on it for you. We're sending everybody there now.
Like you guys said, everyone, like you experienced, everyone was super over the top excited. Mm-hmm. It's really nice to just kind of, whether you're at the hotel or the parks, or just to see everyone's happy face, because they're excited to be back to work, but they're excited to be back with their friends too.
It was fun watching the team member previews on Facebook the day when y'all were in there, just the team members and watch it following on Facebook.
Yeah, because we haven't seen it. You spend so many 8 hours, 9 hours a day with these people, and you know,
and then you don't. Now you're just at home, right?
Yeah. So that's the one good thing
I bet they love that.
Oh yeah, right. Yeah, but that's the one good culture that we have at our company too. Is even from the top. Every week we would get an email just saying we're thinking about you and don't worry, we'll get through this. And then
I love that.
Yeah, they just have, the culture is like that family feel. So no matter what happens, it's always, good, that feeling, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
Sorry, I brought it down.
No,
brought it down to a real level. Well, sorry, guys.
You could really tell that everybody was so happy to be back to work, and really, even the people that were throughout the park trying to remind people about social distancing and stuff. They're very upbeat and exciting, and
even Vin Diesel looked.
Yeah, he did.
Fast and Furious ride.
That's funny.
He was having fun. So y'all are still doing Halloween Horror Nights this fall. Excited about that.
30-year anniversary.
That's super amazing. I can't wait.
I can't wait. Yeah.
I can't wait to see how you fit all those people.
They're working on it.
There's a plan. There's always a plan. Yeah. But that's our moneymaker, let me tell you. So I'm sure.
And you got to shake that moneymaker.
Right now we have to, yes. So I'm sure
that is a fun event. We've talked about it on this podcast before, and we have a great time.
Yeah, I'm actually kind of excited to see what they put in place because, like you guys said, we did such a great job at reopening, and the mobile app ordering and for food and everything that we've done, the virtual lines. I'm
so great.
I'm curious to see.
For this.
Yeah, I'm curious to see what we implement for Halloween.
We're having our company conference there at Sapphire Falls at the Universal Resort and Racquetball Complex there, and it is going to be during Halloween Horror Night. So
good timing.
Yes, we have some super brave Key to the World family members who just can't wait to be forced into Halloween Horror Nights.
Yes, our own Teresa Perry is going to love every second of it.
This time it can be Teresa peeing her pants instead of me.
Well, if you're excited to go hang out with Vin Diesel and all of his other buddies,
and you should be, it's so fun,
and the floozies,
and you should be because it's clean and safe and fun. Or if you want to do some exploring anywhere else in the world, Key to the World Travel has a soundstage full of expert travel planners waiting to make your dreams a reality. Visit www.keytotheworldtravel.com for a no-obligation quote on the vacation of a lifetime. Don't forget to catch up with our friend, the Theme Park Professor, for all the latest theme park news and tips at www.themeparkprofessor.com. Word of mouth is always the best way to help us grow our show. If you've got a friend or two who you think would appreciate our special brand of globe-trotting jackassery, we'd really love it if you could send them our way and have them give us a listen. We can't wait to hang out with you again next week, and we'll see you real soon.
Bye, guys.
Goodbye.
Don't reopen flows.
Thanks, Amy.
Go to Universal. It's epic.
They don't have flows there. To ask a question or share your travel story, you can reach us by smoke signal, carrier pigeon, or send an email to goldkeyadventurers@gmail.com. And make sure you follow the Gold Key Adventure Society on Facebook and Instagram. A huge thanks to our sponsor, Key to the World Travel. For all your travel planning needs, visit www.keytotheworldtravel.com for a free quote and help planning the trip of a lifetime. Tell them the Gold Key Adventurers sent you. That's www.keytotheworldtravel.com. Key to the World Travel, your key to a magical vacation. Thanks to Outer Vibe for the use of their song Hoka Hey for the intro and outro of our show. Find them on Facebook at The Outer Vibe or check out www.outervibe.com for tour dates, music, merch, and more. We'll see you next week for another meeting of the Gold Key Adventure Society. And until then, remember, life is short and the world is wide. So go have an adventure.